Cities provide a vast variety of services to their citizens on a daily basis. Roads and infrastructure, parks, health, or education, just to name a few. A medium-sized city spends up to 100 million euros per year on all of its services. But when it comes to decision-making, local governments tap in the dark. Although they collect a lot of data about themselves, it's not available to the leaders. The problem is the data is trapped in silos. Cities have many different legacy systems. Sometimes data is scattered across Excel files or only exists on paper. It just takes a lot of time and effort to aggregate that data manually. And a medium-sized city spends more than 100,000 euros per year just on manual data processing. We solve that problem. Polyteia is a governance platform for mayors, treasurers, department heads, and city council members. We take data from any existing legacy system and produce reports and actionable insights that governments can use to reach their goals. The Polyteia platform is modular and aligned with the city services, ranging from childcare to fire departments to infrastructure. Last month, we've launched our first module in the field of childcare. With its help, city leaders can track their performance, optimize their costs, and forecast the demand over the next years. But let me tell you in detail how our clients actually use the product in reality. For that, please meet Mike Wedel, Head of Central Services of the city of Oranienburg. Mike wants to prepare for the next city council session. The topic is the current childcare situation. There are more than 300,000 children in Germany that aren't able to get a spot in their local kindergarten currently. It's also a challenge for Oranienburg. So how many spots are currently available? Do we have enough spots next year? And do we have to build a new facility? Those are the questions that keep coming up each and every council session. Mike wants to prepare for that. Instead of requesting reports from multiple departments, he just logs into Polyteia. Looking at the graph above, he sees that the utilization rate has gone up. He scrolls down, looking at the table below, and notices some of the facilities have even gone beyond their capacity. Mike wants to check which area has the worst utilization rate. Here on the map in dark blue, Lindenberg clearly stands out. Mike checks the Polyteia forecast. Already next year, Oranienburg will hit the critical point when demand will exceed the available spots. And worse, in 4 years from now, there will be as many as 230 spots missing. Together with the mayor and the treasurer, they decide to build a new facility. And this is how we make it happen. The data bridge is a standalone part of our software that is installed on the client server. We connect it to the databases of the legacy systems and run queries on a daily basis. And if the data exists only on paper, no problem, we digitize it as a service. Looking at the competition, legacy systems can provide all automatic integrations. Consultancies deliver static and expensive reports, and US-based GovTech startups, they just can't meet European localization requirements. Polyteia covers all of it. Starting this year, we have generated 50 strong leads interested in our product, and 3 cities are already paying customers and using our product. The GovTech market in Europe is young and has high potential. Our product lies at the intersection of local government IT and consulting. The market value amounts up to 1.6 billion annually in Europe. Starting in Germany, we want to scale to other European markets soon. We do that by running regionally distributed sales teams to convince customers on site. Our modular pricing helps winning contracts below procurement thresholds. And we scale through political networks and social proof. We run a software as a service business model with a one-time setup fee and an annual license fee. The setup fee depends on the amount of database integrations. And the annual license fee depends on the number of modules and the size of the city. Our team combines the best of 2 worlds. Our CPO has more than 15 years of experience in building digital products. And I have a public sector background, advised the CDU, including Angela Merkel, on urban policy. We are supported by successful entrepreneurs as investors and public sector representatives as advisors. Our vision is that all city leaders across Europe make data-empowered decisions, improving the life of millions of their citizens. Create a more effective and efficient government today. Go to polyteia.com. Thank you very much.
Judges.
So it's a great and noble idea, and definitely something that needs to exist in the world. At the same time, it feels like it falls in the category of things that governments should do, but in reality don't really do. How do you create an urgency and a momentum for a broad market to adopt this?
There's definitely a trend. Cities start to hire CTOs, CIOs, and chief digital officers. However, it's still a minority of cities who do that. Some countries are better at that, like Estonia. France is catching up, but many countries are still behind, many cities. We target the cities that are smaller size. Our main customer is from 10K to 100K citizens. And those cities usually are not covered by large agencies that might drive this innovation. And also, they rarely hire CIOs.
So when you sell to them, what is the product that they ask for first? Is there one product or feature that they all are looking for?
Yeah.
And maybe that's a good entry point?
Yeah, basically the entry door we go through is the reporting plane I pictured. Like the average 100,000 euros they pay currently on their mandatory reporting means they do it basically half year or yearly. And they actually want that data, but they can't do it. If they would do it, it would be 500, 600, 700,000 euros per year. And they have to employ people. And that we automate. And then they have basically a digital statistician that is providing that. And that's very attractive to small and medium-sized cities. And based on that, we basically then do this educating of data-empowered decision-making. And then this is the second step. Yeah.
So you made us dream a little bit of how the world should look like. But as Matt said, you know, it's a little bit tricky to make it happen. So what is the forcing function? Is there a compliance component or something that, oh my God, you know, if I don't use this, I'm going to lose my job? Or like, what is the forcing function for a city to start using it?
Mm-hmm. What's the barrier? I would say it's mentality. So far, we had conversations with really a lot of clients. The most innovative come to us and agree to work with us. However, I think one of the issues is that they're not used to do performance-based decisions and decisions based on data. And we definitely have to educate on that. They see that the trend is there and they need to catch up. But I think it's about, it will take time for sure. So currently we're building the software for that. We're basically building a data warehouse and data visualization for that. But to go next step, it's definitely going to take time, education, and communication with the clients.
Now, you mentioned when you install, it can depend on the number of data sources you're ingesting and the initial fee. So is there some sort of long-term that you're looking at where, hey, we've ingested the data or data sources from 200 different cities? Is there some sort of comparison analysis you can run? Say, hey, your city is this size. What does your city look like compared to other cities its size? That sort of thing.
Yes, that's definitely what we're planning to do. Customers already require that, but so far it requires certain density and coverage of the cities in the same area, same size, and same background.
Same currency.
Issues. Currency as well, language. Yeah. I think, yeah, that's definitely the plan. I think it will happen definitely this year. We target currently Brandenburg and Baden-Württemberg as the first states in Germany that will have Polyteia. And as soon as we have enough clients, we will launch this feature. Yeah.
And how do you think about other markets? Is it a product that you see will be easy to sell into other government structures, or is it very local to the German one today?
Yeah, actually it's very critical also to sell it to other structures. in a way because municipalities are not loose in the system, right? They are connected to the state and the counties. And we see definitely the counties as the next layer because they also fulfill some functions. For example, mobility is more on the county level rather than on the municipality level. And the states are also financially responsible for municipalities and might also need that. So actually these three layers definitely are interesting.
Of course, it's wonderful to be able to see data and base decisions of data, but at the same time, data can also be deceiving, right? There might be data missing. Is there a way to kind of help the user understand what data might be missing, or why might this data be screwed or skewed, or whatever word is?
Both.
Both, maybe.
Yeah. So what we basically do when we start pitching that, they realize, okay, we have legacy systems. Usually one person owns that legacy system, and maybe for 20 years, this is the average. And then they realize, okay, maybe we didn't put, for example, the capacities in. And with Polyteia, they now realize that we are connected to a different system and they rely on our information, and then behavior shifts and you type it in and you use it in a more responsible way. This is what we basically then detect in the beginning and encourage our clients to do better. Yeah.
So it sounds like you need quite a lot of like human assistance. You need to kind of educate them about the value. You need to educate them about maybe the quality of the data. So is it a consultancy task, or how do you think about that?
It's partly is. Well, at least currently that's what we do as well. I think also that just by using the product and seeing the value and impact that it has, they will start treating their data more seriously. Currently, it's already, some of the data is already quite clean and well maintained. Some is not so well maintained. That's where we see some of the problems. We talk to them, and usually, well, governments are quite hierarchical. We target our customers as mayors and treasurers and head of administration, and if they see that something is wrong with data, they request to clean it up.
It's always encouraging to see a Salesforce on a startup slide, because everybody imagines that this thing will install itself. So could you just sketch out the idea of the Salesforce? Do you own these salespeople? Are they the installers as well? And what kind of education they need? Basically, what kind of skill set do you need to be able to install this, get it on site? I had looked at the floor is 5K, right, to install, and the ceiling is somewhere around 50K-ish.
Yeah, the salespeople that we hire are focused on public sector. They have at least experience in a government body, because the most important is that you have to detect who's the decision maker, and it's not always the mayor. Sometimes the mayor is the door, and then it's the head of administration central services, or sometimes treasury. It really depends, and you have to be able and know that and detect that. And it doesn't need to be, you don't have to work. You can also have worked in a public bank, for example. That's one of the sales representatives we have now in a region. Sold insurances to municipalities, but at least you had contact. That's how we run it currently.
There's been some companies in the past that have tried to do this, and thinking of Socrata in the US and others. Why haven't those become gigantic companies? Is it a different moment in time now to build a billion-dollar company doing this?
I think Europe just basically lacks maybe 5 years or 10 years behind that trend. And that's why we see a big opportunity to actually drive it from the European perspective, and we see it as a European product. So we want to target Germany first, but actually thinking about France, Benelux, the other DACH region like Austria, Switzerland, and so on, just to see it as a European product. And I think that's how we, in that early stage, can be a very important player and also grow big.
How big is your addressable market in those countries that you're focused on?
It's 1.6 billion.
Oh, sorry, that's what...
Exactly.
Okay.
And it's 100,000 municipalities in Europe.
And can you get some of these states to push it to local municipalities? Because otherwise, honestly, long sales cycles, and you have to do one small one by one small one. It's just going to take a long time to get velocity.
Yeah, we already do that. We talked to one state already about that, because it's of course better if a state says, I buy this to all municipalities, maybe for a bit lower price, and then roll it out, and then we can do the features that you mentioned, for example, do the comparison immediately, push also the product better.
Encourage you to try that,
Absolutely.
How big is your team right now? You seem to be so up and running already.
8 people.
8 busy people.
8 very busy people, yeah.
Any final question? All right, give it up for Polyteia.
Thank you.